Hello, Noofs, and welcome to another video. We have another lovely ZvZ from you. This is from WESG, the one that happened recently in China. This is from actually Group D of Group Stage 2 because they didn't actually cast or record half of those. So we're going to be doing those for you. They're all ZvZs. So Ben, how excited are you?
Very excited.
Ben is very excited for ZvZs. The last ZvZ video that we did was lovely, and so I'm excited to see another 40-minute Ling Bane macho mano-a-mano duel.
Yep.
So, in this video, I'll introduce the players real quick. In the top left, he's the red Zerg. His name is Lambo. And in the bottom right, his opponent is the blue Zerg. His name is Elazer. Do you have a prediction for the score on this, Ben?
I mean, I have to say that Elazer's probably going to win this. He's been, had a pretty good performance lately, although been a little disappointing, especially in IEM Katowice.
Yep.
He didn't do so great, but in 2017, he had a pretty strong year. I think he may have been the highest scoring foreigner in terms of WCS points besides Neeb. I'm not 100% sure about that, but, he was the only person besides Neeb to win a WCS event.
Yep.
So, with his victory over Snoot in, which one was that? Was that in Jönköping? Or was that the one after that?
Valencia? I don't remember.
Valencia, that sounds right.
Yeah. We'll just say it.
Yep.
If you disagree, post a comment and boost our YouTube video up a little bit with your disagreement, please.
And this also, we should note, is our very first Best of 5 series that we're casting.
Yes. I'm very excited.
Although, having said that, it may not be the first Best of 5 series that we post.
Yeah, I wasn't going to say anything, but I didn't mention that it was the first one from the group because I didn't want to. But whatever, it's the very first Best of 5, so if you see a super long duration of this video, that's why. If you see a super short duration on this video, it's despite that. We have no idea what's coming up.
You can look in the bottom left and see this 5 here that I did remember to press the button for.
Yeah. Which is wonderful, by the way. It's very high-level stuff that we've got going on here. We're going to be doing these 3 series, and then we're also going to be doing Neeb and Sorius from WESG.
Yep.
And that'll be our little WESG package, which is fun. I'm excited. It was a pretty cool tournament. I didn't think it got the viewership it deserved.
Yeah,
but I think it was probably a time zone thing.
Yeah, it was a real... It started at, 11 p.m. Eastern time, which I believe would be, early morning European time?
Yep.
And... Yeah, I mean, I was on spring break for that, so I basically stayed up until 3 a.m. every night, and still didn't get to watch the whole thing.
That's the dream, by the way.
Yeah. But for Americans that can't stay up super late, or for Europeans, period,
yep,
it's going to be difficult. But even then, it was only 2,000 views. There were times that it was broadcasting and it still wasn't the most viewed StarCraft 2 stream.
Well, it also conflicted with the Achievement Hunter thing.
Oh, yeah.
And I think, especially as Destiny started to make it towards the end of that insane, 36-hour run or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
I think that really... 36 hours, by the way, crazy, because... And I should mention that what is happening in the game right now is Elazer's pumping links. But before that happens, let me just say, 36 hours is crazy. My freshman year of high school, my friends and I did 24 hours of Call of Duty, which is a much less mentally taxing activity. And I was drained by the end of it. I cannot imagine doing 36 hours of streaming StarCraft 2.
Yeah.
Anyways, Elazer is sending a bunch of links across the map.
Yeah.
What's he aiming to do with these links?
Well, this is sort of, I think, more of a light pressure. It's not enough lings, as you see going back to drones again, to do a serious all-in. With how fast Zerglings are in ZvZ, you can basically do this thing where you build Zerglings and you don't really know whether they're offensive or defensive. But, if your opponent has a bunch of links and they're defensive, and if not, you run across the map like he did, and maybe put on a little pressure, and mostly you just force Lambo to make a similar number of lings, which you can see from the army supply down here. They both made about a similar commitment.
Yeah, well, Lambo pumped a lot of lings, and just look at the drone lead for Elazer already. He's up to 9 drones, so Lambo's going to switch into roaches and see if he can get something done from there. I don't think he knows about the drone deficit.
Yeah, and that's
pretty
the really
large.
Key thing about being the first one to move out on the map is that you get sort of... Oh, actually, the 2 lings right on here, getting, I think, 1 drone kill is nice.
Yep.
You get sort of the upper hand, and then you can sort of decide how the game's going to go, and that often lets you sort of switch out of units into drones first and get a bit of a drone advantage. And we see Lambo trying to put on some pressure here, but he doesn't really have a superior army, so it's not clear how he's going to get much out of this.
He doesn't have a superior army, but he has evened up the drone count because Elazer's been pumping lings, so any deficit that he had because of that early ling force by Elazer has been erased, and now they're both sitting on exactly the same number of workers, building the exact same number of workers, as you often see in Game of Drones. And it looks like we're going to make our way to Roach v. Roach, which is exciting, Ben, because the last ZvZ that we casted, I think, saw 3 Roaches built total.
Yeah, and I think there was also 4 mutas in there.
Yeah, at the very, very end. 4 helpless little mutas that lost the series.
It's going to be interesting to see actual, significant presence of units that are neither Lings nor Banelings in a ZvZ series.
And selfishly, it'll be exciting to not just spend all of a 15-minute game going, ooh, oh, ooh. By the way, that Ling micro just there by Elazer to switch the damaged 1 speedling away to try to get 1 drone is beautiful.
Yeah, it's impressive to see what these high-level, Zerg players can do with 1 25-mineral unit, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see. So now we see, again, the worker count totally even. Both players building Roaches. Elazer with slightly more army supply, but not a huge difference. Although as he builds another wave of units, that should have to... Okay, basically it evens out.
Yep.
So it looks like a very even game. Interesting, I don't believe either player has built a lair. No. So neither player has built a lair or +1 attack. So it looks like they're both actually going to go into sort of hatch-tech Roach Ravager aggression, basically. So some Ravagers coming out from Elazer, and they're the first Ravager Morrison from Lambo. So,
well, Elazer's also pumping a ton of Lings.
Yeah. So it looks like this is a big all-in from Elazer, but Lambo, having not teched up either, has basically done exactly what you want to do to be able to defend this.
Yep, so the Ravager shots come in, they cancel a few eggs, but that's about it. It actually looks like Elazer has a lead here with the Lings coming in, and the superior amount of Ravagers, but now Lambo looks to turn the pressure back on. This is a super weird fight because they've been going back and forth with aggression. Lings are coming in from Lambo. He should be able to take this. He's got more roaches. He's chasing 1 Ravager back. Lings coming in from both directions. Shots not hitting anything in particular. Some eggs, but they won't even cancel them. This is really close. So there's 3 Ravagers left for Elazer. He's about to lose 1 of them, maybe?
Well, he's going to lose all 3 of them, maybe.
He's going to lose all 3.
Well, maybe not.
Okay.
Some Lings come back in. And actually, he killed quite a few workers during that, too. So as he gets pushed back, Lambo having the defender's advantage. It looks like we don't have the workers killed overlay on this, unfortunately. But down to 36, so around 5 workers went down from Lambo there, and Elazer made about 5 more of his own, as he's now teching up to a lair. And still has a pretty similar army size. So that was a very close fight there, but it looks like Elazer was able to take the edge in the game as a result of that. And Lambo now just committing to more and more no-tech, just units. And so as long as Elazer makes more units, which actually he's building 4 more drones, he really needs as many units as he can. But if he does defend this counterattack here, he should be in an incredible position to take this game.
Yeah, in that fight, it looked like Elazer basically had more Ravagers and more Lings, but way fewer Roaches. Do you think that made the difference? Because you would expect if each Zerg is investing the same amount into an attack, the one with Defender's Advantage should win every time, but it didn't quite shake out that way.
Yeah, I mean, Ravagers are definitely really good. The Biles can do damage, or at least force units to run around, and they have a longer range, so they're better at attacking. And Lings obviously are higher DPS per cost than Roaches. I'd say most of the Ravager count is actually Lambo losing again.
Oh, this looks really bad for Elazer. The flank from the Lings and the Ravagers, he's going to lose so many of those Roaches to Biles because he doesn't have the space to move out of them. And now he's in trouble. So he started +1. If he can hold this, he'll be fine. But he's having Queens and Roaches join the attack as Lings flood in. This is looking really, really rough. There's so many Ravagers back there who can just pump Corrosive Biles. Even if the Roaches don't get hit by them, they have to move instead of attacking. He's getting chased back into his 3rd base. 1 Queen is about to fall. There it goes down. He's got a handful of Roaches left. It looks like he's going to take this game.
Yeah, those Lings surrounding off the last few units here. The Biles canceling tons of units in production from Lambo. And GG. Elazer taps out of the first game.
And Lambo takes game 1. Let's move on to game number 2. So as we load into game number 2, I'd like to break down that last fight. It looked like Elazer had a decent enough army to hold off Lambo, and it looked like he had better economy, and he had defender's advantage, but Lambo managed to take it. How?
I think the biggest thing is just that Ravager count. Ravagers are so good. As we talked about last game, the increased range, I'm pretty sure they do at least as much, if not more DPS, and especially the Biles. Especially, so at the beginning of that fight, we saw the Lings come in on a flank from one side, which were able to force the Roaches to stay still and eat a ton of Biles. And that damage just adds up a lot. And as the Ravagers took basically no harm the entire fight. They just sat in the back and fired and threw out Corrosive Biles. And with all that, the superior army ended up working out for Lambo and, killing all of Elazer's units. And also, when he got onto the third base, he was able to drop a bunch of corrosive biles on the units.
Mm-hmm.
So we have time here, so we might as well. For
Sure,
people
go
that
for
don't
it.
know, the Zerg Cocoon, you can see here, it has 200 health, but it also has very high armor. It has something like 10 armor or something. So units that do small amounts of damage can't really kill them. But the corrosive bile does spell damage, so it's not affected by the armor, I believe. Or either way, it does such a big chunk of damage that a few corrosive biles can actually take out a big clump of cocoons and cancel the Zerg production. So something like 5 or, at least 5 roaches ended up dying in cocoon form to the Lambo's biles. And since at that point you're really mostly limited by how many larvae you have, that killing the, even though you get most of the money back, killing the cocoon is almost as good as killing the actual unit.
Yeah, we saw Elazer actually doing the same exact thing when he was attacking Lambo's third. He sniped a few eggs. He brought them low the second time, but the first round of vials fell straight on the eggs, which is interesting. Not something that
Elazer's still complying with zoning regulations, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. I still don't understand that. I wonder, does he do it in every matchup? What matchup did we cast earlier? Was it PVZ?
I think it was ZvZ again. I'm not sure he does it.
Oh.
Maybe. Against, let's see. So against Zerg, I guess our idea was that it helps against an early pool timing or something.
Mm-hmm.
If you drop spines over here, then that can potentially be helpful to help scout them. Against the other races, I guess against Protoss it would make it a little easier to defend charge lots. Potentially.
Yeah, and drops against Terran.
Yeah.
Because you'd have better vision.
Yeah, and you wouldn't have it gumming up your space behind the mineral lines to allow the Marines or something to just sit back there and shoot to the Zerglings. But against
I don't want to get too much in your way, but Lambo's actually started going down a higher tech path, while Elazer has gotten speed in a third. Look, an Evo chamber from a Lambo too. A Lambo. What do you expect to see from this?
Well, let's see.
Ooh, roach horns.
Yeah, so we see one more gas. There's no Ling speed, so without the Ling speed, it's going to have to be a 2-base roach with +1. There's not really any realistic chance of mutas, I don't think. The roach horn could just be for a wall. Okay, we see the +1 there, yeah. Yep. But you can't go mutas without speedlings. So so we're going to see a Lambo. It's not entirely unheard of to go for a 2-base roach like this, although it's certainly not as common as getting the 3 bases.
Yep.
So basically, Elazer's going to have the third base. He's not really going to have a worker advantage for a while because the third base, doesn't kick in. But he is going to end up eventually with an economic advantage once he's able to mine from the 3 bases. So Lambo's going to probably aim to go for an attack with the speed roaches and +1. You see him now building those roaches up. Yep. And sitting on only 33 workers, it's a pretty low income, and so he's going to really want to do a lot of damage. You can see Elazer's going to be over 40 already. But Elazer, on the other hand, needs to finish that roach horn up and get some roaches out.
Yeah, you'd have to think that he probably wants to get a third at least, right? He'll have a window with +1 attack, which is good, but not that big of a window.
Yeah, I would expect to see Lambo take a third as he moves out with the roaches. And hopefully he can get that creep over there to help out. So he should, or maybe a little earlier now that he's starting to push his units out, but at least once he does his big +1 speed attack, at the latest he should grab a third, and then try and do enough damage with that attack to balance out the significantly later third timing. Although with how many fewer workers he has, he's going to need to do a really significant amount of damage. You see he's actually going to run 4 queens across the map as he starts to build a creep highway with his overlords, although it's a very incomplete creep highway here. There's sort of one little patch here and one patch here, but that'll speed up the queens a little bit. This ramp is going to be very difficult to get up with these roaches and queens, though, as long as the Elazer is prepared to hold the top.
Yeah, I'm surprised that he's trying to move up the ramp instead of attacking on the third, because he'd have a better chance of a concave. Oh, he actually gets up, although with that small army, he needs his queens to catch up, or he's just going to lose the fight immediately. So the 4 queens are going to join soon. He targets down 1 queen. The queen does not go down.
Oh, a very high energy queen just died right in the front of that fight without getting any energy off from Lambo.
Yeah, the queen's so important here, but it looks like Elazer has a really, really good concave. He's got a flank on both sides. 3 queens are up, but I'm not sure that any of them have any energy left. The roaches from Lambo are pushing through, so he's got the 2 flanks to contend with, but he can win both easily. He's about to take down the second to last queen. 1 queen left, and that's going to fall down too. It looks like Lambo's just going to punch through and win this game. What would critical damage look like here? Would it be getting on top of the workers? Would it be killing the natural?
I mean,
the Spine Crawler is going to
The Spine Crawler is going to help a lot as even more units are coming out. I mean, he has to basically he doesn't even have the third, so he has to kill probably 15 or so workers to even out this game. He is going to take out that Spine Crawler, and now the drones coming in from Elazer are going to try and push back these roaches from Lambo. As more reinforcements are coming in from both sides, the drones retreat back, and it's so close, it's really hard to tell who's winning, but Lambo still has a big army advantage.
Yeah, Lambo is helped out by the fact that he's catching basically 2 hatcheries worth of production from one side before they can join the 3rd hatchery's worth of production, so he ends up not actually fighting Elazer's full army at any given time. He's starting to make some work on those workers. He's still down 7 workers, but he's up so many roaches here that he can kill a lot before the queens join even. He gets that queen instantly while it hatches, by the way, so there's no queens for the natural or the 3rd for Elazer. The supply gap is starting to widen. That queen falls. Lambo, I think, is going to take this game. I'm not sure. Yep, Elazer GG's. Lambo takes game number 2. Let's see if he can close it out on map number 3. Game number 3 in the series, obviously, best of 5. Elazer's got his back to the ropes. This is not how we expected the series to go at all.
No, it certainly isn't. As I said earlier, of course, me making the prediction, right?
Yeah.
Elazer has historically looked like the stronger player, having an actual significant presence on the world stage. And that's why we expected that he would be much more likely to take the series, but now Lambo having won 2 games in a row. And we should mention that Lambo is not a weak player at all. He's been in the European scene for quite a while, and has always been close to the top of the ladder, but he hasn't really had those actual results in these major tournaments that Elazer has. Elazer got to, he won a WCS last year. I believe he got to the round of 4 or something, didn't he, in IM Pyeongchang?
I don't remember.
So that's some pretty significant results, you know, those among many others. Some pretty significant results. Actually, I'm pretty sure he lost to Neve in another WCS. And anyway, the point being, Elazer's got some pretty significant results in big tournaments that we haven't really seen from Lambo. But Lambo's showing that he's not to be underestimated, which is good for him. Always good to have these players that haven't had the strongest performances necessarily get some big wins over big players. And up 2-0 in the series, and we're going to have to see if he can potentially just 3-0 Elazer and show some dominance.
Yeah, Elazer has really been struggling lately. If I'm remembering correctly, and I guess I can fact check this in a second, but I don't think that he actually won a single game in his group in IEM Katowice.
I think that is right.
Which is absolutely not the showing that you would expect from somebody like Elazer. If I actually have no idea how this group went for him, but just based on the series, if he gets kind of bopped by Lambo here, then I wonder where he goes from there, because Elazer you expect to be one of the top players on the foreign scene.
Yeah, you'd have to figure then that he's in some sort of a slump this year, basically.
Yep.
So do you remember? You don't remember what happened in the global finals for him, do you?
Do I remember what happened where?
In the global finals for Elazer?
No.
Yeah, I don't either. I don't think it did great. Maybe sort of over the new year, new patch, all that. Maybe he just hasn't adjusted all that well. So we'll have to see. You know, players, basically all players have slumps at some point in their career. So it's not unheard of, and it certainly doesn't mean that Elazer's done for, even if he has some poor tournament performances.
Yeah.
We haven't even gotten to the first WCS event of the year. So that'll be the more important thing to see from Elazer, how he does there.
Yeah, everybody slumps. I slump. I haven't won a streamed match in a very long time. Meanwhile, by the way, we should be noting that Lambo's got some speed, he's got some banelings coming, and he does not have a 3rd hatchery.
He also doesn't have that Overlord anymore.
He also does not have that Overlord. RIP Overlord. Man, the entrails, is that necessary to show in the game? Whatever.
I mean, you can turn it off if you want to.
Well, I can't even turn it off because I play on the lowest possible settings. Oh my gosh, so losing those 2 links is a small thing, but it's got to be super annoying for Lambo because he is looking to run some links across the map now and do critical damage. Even just losing those 2 links is a really big deal. The Baneling Nest is halfway finished for Elazer. This is going to be a really, really tricky hold. He might actually just go out 3-0.
Yeah, there are a lot of Zerglings here and 2 queens, but this 3rd base for sure is not going to be able to be held. as that is a lot of banelings that Lambo's morphing in here. There's a start of a wall, so Lambo's gonna have to waste some banelings on one of these Evo chambers.
Yep.
More of a wall coming in, but it doesn't finish, and now there's no banelings from Elazer.
There's no banelings from Elazer. They haven't even started. The baneling has just finished. There are 4 banelings inside, 5 banelings inside his natural, chasing things around. So one queen goes down. He's walking up the ramp. Oh my gosh, this is just a micro battle. Another one goes down. That was a nice one. He has the ling advantage in here now, plus the banelings. The thing is, these queens can kill the banelings. Oh, he's actually going to clean it up. He did it, but it looks like this all-in has been mostly held off. So the third base is gone. But the links and the banelings have been cleared.
That was is still fine.
Oh, he abandoned the third base to try to win the game. Wow, that's shocking to me. So that looked like the end of the game to me. But it looks like Elazer's actually going to hold it off and be ahead. About even worker count, and he's up a base. That base is really just there for the eggs at this point.
Yep. So
he should be able to hold this.
There's 4 banelings, but 3 banelings from Elazer. So. Oh, there's a 4th. Okay, yeah. So with decent control from the Elazer, he should be able to hold the space as long as he doesn't lose all of his Zerglings to 1 baneling or something. Making some drones here is still a little bit greedy, although Lambo's been doing the same. But Lambo does need to get some damage in with this wave of units if he wants to be in an even place in this game.
Yeah, he's walking the banelings up, but there's nothing for them to actually kill. You definitely don't want those to go off on queens. One baneling is going to get sniped. Every baneling here is so important for Lambo. Looks like they've got almost even baneling counts, 4 to 5 in Lambo's favor, and then slightly more lings for Lambo as well. But there's the 3 queens for Elazer. There's the superior worker count. There's the extra production from the 3rd hatch. He looks really good to be holding this. Is Lambo going to go back home? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, Elazer's up 5 workers now and 10 army supply. Lambo looks like he's committing to roaches or something. He has 700 minerals. What is he doing with 700 minerals? He doesn't have enough gas to be making roaches out of this. He's trying to get +1. I guess he's got some gas now, so it looks like he's actually just going to do a big roach all-in. Still not. But he does drop the 3rd, so this is a little bit odd. You'd think that if you wanted to do a big roach all-in, you'd want these 300 minerals to turn into roaches, not into a 3rd hatchery that you don't need. But at the same time, there's no layer. He canceled the upgrade. Okay, so the 3rd base, maybe the 3rd base is just to pretend to. Oh wow, that baneling I think killed a bunch of Zerglings there. And now there's no Zerglings to defend the 3rd base. But there are roaches.
My gosh!
But Lambo doesn't
the roaches won't make it in time.
Lambo, I think, didn't want or wanted to be able to defend this with just Zerglings, but now the roaches are. The game is up here, so the Elazer knows that he just needs to build units. His roach one's almost done. He kills that last baneling too. So there's not even any banelings to deal with all those Zerglings that he's making. And Lambo has a very rough path ahead of him. He's down a lot of army supply, or a lot of worker supply, but he's up a bunch of army supply. But that's going to start to even out now that the Roach Warren is done from Elazer, and when you combine that with the defender's advantage, I think Elazer has a very good shot at defending this push.
Yep, Lambo, to his credit, does have that one drone there, so that can maybe proxy an Evo chamber or something. Maybe you can get a hatchery going and start a 3rd right there. This is pretty brutal. This is kind of a death march for these units. I'm really not sure how he could possibly win, but he might as well try. He's morphing in one more Ravager. Maybe he can get lucky with some vials.
That drone died immediately.
The drone goes down, and maybe so do Elazer's hopes in this game. He drops the vials. They're going to get dodged easily this time. No lings to block. Banelings hit some Zerglings, but not enough. There's 2 more coming through. Elazer has a superior concave. He's got better army. He's got a gazillion queens. The last 2 banelings roll in and detonate on absolutely nothing at all. Lambo should be GGing here. He has really no chance of winning this game from here, unless Elazer has some kind of aneurysm, or gets a phone call that he really needs to take, or just wants to drop the group because there's match fixing in Starcraft 2 again.
Yeah, that would be a real shame if you're in a tournament match and then you realize, oh, the game ends.
GG. Elazer takes game number 3, so we'll head into game number 4. Elazer still has a shot. Game number 4. Hey, it's our favorite map, Neon Violet Squares.
Yes. And coming into this, it has been very well established, the number of squares that are on this map.
Yeah. In case anybody was wondering, it is in fact 121 squares. 122 if you count the map as a whole.
Yep. There aren't any, hidden proxy squares or anything, right?
No. No, but we should definitely spend the first 5 minutes of this game looking around the entire map.
Look here. Look at these.
Oh, no. Oh no.
Okay, so these are rectangles, right?
No.
But there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Are there any behind those?
I think it's 11. Oh my gosh. And then I think there's
11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23 over here.
I think that that's probably true. I definitely don't think we should recount at any point on stream. So that means another 46,
Yep.
I believe. Okay, so it is in fact 167 squares.
Well, we'll leave the rest of the map for the next time we're on this map, just to do any more searching for neon violet squares.
And in between casts, we really should look up the actual number of squares so that we can have another correction.
Do you think anybody's actually taken the time to correctly count the total number of squares?
Well, we will be then.
We're going to be
We
the
will be very
only
soon.
person in the world, only people in the world, including the map maker, who know how many squares there are on this map. Oh, but see,
I'm
I
excited to
think
just
I counted these, but the corners
as
cut off.
full ones. Yeah. So maybe it's actually what,
I'm
two
not sure.
fewer?
I'm not sure I counted these ones though.
You know what, Ben? This is something that we should figure not in the middle of the cast. But we'll figure it out. Guys, we'll do some digging for you. I can't promise when, because we're both very busy people. We have a lot of games to cast. But someday we will figure out the exact number of squares on the Empire.
Ooh, look at
It's
this.
at least 121.
It's an Evo
Ooh.
chamber coming down from Elazer. Very fast. It looks like this is going to be a +1 armor before ling speed into a mass ling bane all in, is what I would guess based on the timing of this.
Either that or a ling drop, in which case Lambo needs 2 shield batteries at the front and needs to bring a depth up into the main piece. Sorry, that's PTSD speaking right there
So let's
from the
see.
ladder.
He gets it, let's see. And right as he's getting it, he's just about to hit 150 gas. And there it is, the +1 armor.
Boom.
So
Well done, Ben.
we should expect to see the ling speed coming up next. And then probably a baneling nest and just a massive amount of ling baneling. Lambo getting a very fast baneling nest of his own in the main actually, and banking up ling. So what Lambo's doing here is actually a very fast ling baneling all in. And if I remember my ZvZ correctly, this actually is hard to hold. This should be an advantage to Lambo because actually he's getting an Evo and a spine, which I think is odd because you can hit with if you look at the timing on the baneling nest, you can attack before ling speed or before the +1 armor is done and well before ling speed is done. So maybe Lambo is confused here or something, but I think he does cancel that.
Cancel
But the correct response here is definitely to just go for the all-in very hard. And 7 more drones. Elazer doesn't see this at all. And I think this is basically, you see this, and I think on ladder Elazer would have GG'd already. Given that this is a tournament match with a lot on the line, he's probably going to stick it out and try for some miracle defense. But he has no units, he has no ling speed, he has no banelings, he has no upgrade. He's got 3 queens against all this, and this is not going to go very well.
Yeah, so he's going to have to pull the drones. He does have that wall, but he doesn't actually have a wall on the main ramp, so he does have to kind of play around that with his drones. He's got one spine crawler making behind the other wall. This is kind of a full wall. Almost a full wall. I guess he's got one little crack for things to run out. This is gonna turn into a fun little SimCity battle.
Yeah.
So the banelings are gonna roll in. They're gonna not hit anything. He should be targeting the banelings with the spine crawler. Move the queens over to block the banelings from hitting his drones, which are now mining again. There's 3 banelings left. Oh my gosh! Oh, so many drones are gonna go down. They're gonna middle walk back to the main. So now it's just the 3 queens, which all have a good deal of energy, by the way. Oh my gosh! If he's holding this, there's so few links back for Lambo. I think Elazer actually, through that ridiculousness, might have actually just held. He's going to build this baneling nest. Does he have +1? Yeah, he does have the armor finished on the lings. He's got a pretty good advantage now. He's up 9 drones. Lambo's still pumping lings, so it's basically all in from here. Lambo's pumping lings and +1 melee.
Yeah, I'm amazed that through all of that, Lambo did not manage to kill almost any drones of Elazer. It looked so bad, and maybe I'm just wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure, based on how that looked, that should have just done crippling damage. But somehow, 15 drones in the natural all ran around and didn't die to any of those banelings. And I guess that creative wall from Elazer is a big part of it. It was very impressive that he was able to put that together and buy a lot of time and eventually, kill off all those banelings without losing his drones. It's a very impressive hold from Elazer there.
If I were Lambo, I'd be super tilted. It looks like he had the banelings right on top of drones. Maybe if he had just detonated, he would have gotten 10 drones or so, but nothing happened. I was all excited for the big burst and to see the big number on the side and to count how many drones Elazer had just lost, I was ready to be very, very amped up. But then he got absolutely nothing. Now Elazer just has a huge lead. He's even starting a third base, which might actually just be completely unnecessary because he's up 16 workers.
Yeah, but well, to be fair though, 35 workers, you can't really produce off of 2 hatcheries if you're just making mass Zerglings.
Yeah, that's true.
So it does help to get the extra production from the third. We see both players actually getting +1 melee, but the +1 armor is a lot more useful than the +1 melee here. And 1/1-lings are going to be so much better than 1/0 in a Ling-Banling fight. Elazer also getting the lair. He has 700 minerals, so hopefully that he can start injecting that third and start spending some of that money on even more Zerglings so that he can defend this big attack here. But with the big upgrade advantage, it looks like this time I'm not going to count Elazer out as easily as I did last time. And given what happened last time, given an actual decent position, he should have no trouble defending.
Yeah, Lambo's just basically hoping for miracle banelings. Wow, he came real close to just losing the game right there. So he's going to get in. He's going to get right on top of this queen. Oh, 3 banelings managed to kill basically all of Lambo's. There's 1 baneling left who can maybe win this fight, but there are so many queens chomping away. He's just going to GG. Game number 5 for Lambo versus Elazer after Elazer holds on in game 4. Ben, do you think there is any chance of a macro game 5?
I mean, it depends how macro you mean macro. Like, game 1 was, at least to the Roach phase.
Yep.
And this is, I believe, the biggest map in the map pool right now.
Exactly.
So if we're going to see a macro game, it likely is going to be on this one. So we'll have to see what the players decide to do. But I think there's a good chance of us getting to maybe the lurker phase, maybe getting some mutas out. You never know what exactly the players are going to go for, but maybe more than just big Roach Ravager all-ins and such that or Ling Baneling with upgrades or without upgrades that we've seen so far.
Yeah, so Lambo is all in the last 3 games. Looks like there's a gas before anything.
Okay, so the answer at Ezra is no.
Yep. Yeah. I was about to say. I would like to call attention to the fact that you, for some reason, called attention to 1 pile of destructible rocks as evidence of the size of this map. Yep,
is it this one?
That's it. That's all you need to know. Yep. As you can see, this is a huge map. As you can see from this pile of rocks right here.
I mean, look at how big this pile of rocks is, and look at how tiny it is on the map. That's really all you need to know.
Yep, absolutely. It's
what
banana for scale. Ooh, I love this. This is gonna be such a fun game. So Elazer went pool first.
Yep.
And went for the gold minerals while Lambo's playing a normal game.
I should have been paying attention when so I think pretty sure the pool first was then after the Overlord. I saw the pool and was like, oh yeah, 13 pool or 12 pool or something. But I think, given how this timed out, that must have been a little later, and I didn't realize it because you obviously wouldn't have the money to go for this expansion with that build. So what we're going to see here is he's got only 2 on gas. It looks like it's just going to be a Ling Flood. He's going to get... Oh, no, okay, he's already got speed. So there's going to be a Baneling Nest at some point. Big Ling Baneling all in. This will finish up. He'll probably transfer like 12 or so workers over here to the gold base to get that extra mineral income. And just make a huge number of Zerglings. We see these 4 Zerglings are going to run across the map, hide somewhere, and turn into Banelings with this Baneling Nest. And this 2 drones should be timed out perfectly so that the Baneling Nest finishes with 100 gas.
Yep.
And then we're just going to see a bunch of Lings, bunch of Banelings. Oh, this Overlord needs to not die. And Lambo needs to
he'll
figure
be
out
supply
how to
blocked
defend.
if it does. So I love map-specific builds. I think that they're the greatest thing ever in Starcraft, and I hope that we see more of them in the future. Ben, are you familiar with Wallace and Gromit?
Yes.
Do you remember which one is Wallace and which one is Gromit?
Wallace is the guy and Gromit's the dog.
Okay. You know the thing that Wallace does when he gets really happy where he moves his 2 hands back and forth in front of him? He shakes them? That's what I've been doing for about 30 seconds. I'm Wallacing right now because this is such a cool build from Elazer. So he's going to morph these 4 Banelings, and he's actually making some drones at home, which is interesting, but nevertheless... Oh, the third's been scouted, for sure. That's what happens when you find 1 drone walking over to the gold. Oh my gosh, is he going to get it?
Oh, he doesn't.
No.
And this Overlord is also in a dangerous position. Oh, but we should probably mention that this Banelings are going to roll up the map, and some Banelings morphing in, and 3 Queens actually is in a decent position, but they can't defend the hatchery from all the way over on this ramp.
Yeah, and Lambo has so many links. So those 3 Banelings for Lambo are basically going to be his shot in this game because he's got the Ling disadvantage. He's got queens with some energy. Ooh, Elazer's going to back off. I mean, he doesn't have to do that much damage here. He's making drones at home, and he's got the gold. And they're basically even on workers now. Lambo starts a lair, so it looks like Elazer's actually just going to walk home. Wow, that's interesting.
That was not how I foresaw this going.
No, I was expecting to see banelings explode.
Yeah, so Elazer's been droning up and slowly saturating this gold base. Some of these drones have to walk quite a long distance to get there, however.
Mm-hmm.
But the end result will be, certainly, you can see some economic, although actually Lambo's mining more minerals than Elazer is right now. Maybe that's just from, maybe that'll, yeah, okay, that's going to maybe balance out as the gold base starts to take effect. But as we see this is a lot of gases. With 4 gases here, I think we might actually see some mutas here.
Yep.
Let's see, does he have enough? He doesn't quite have enough gas to get the spire immediately. Usually you want to get the second gas a little bit sooner.
Sure.
But you wouldn't take this many gases, I don't think, if you're just going for roaches. And especially you'd probably build a roach one. And, oh, that Zergling, wait, does that, okay, let's just get some vision. No, he doesn't see the lair from that Zergling. So that's a big denial from of the scouting from Lambo here. So, okay, the lair's done. We're going to see a spire. There's 200 minerals, 200 gas.
So if he does put it down, and pending a spire, the idea of the spire would be to pull a laser around because he will have trouble defending that third because it's so far away from his natural, right?
Yeah,
oh my gosh, Lambo's just going to have his third canceled. That is super annoying. Also, Lambo has... Okay, there he goes. He starts the spire. This queen might get caught out on the map. There are some banelings rolling in. The queen goes down. Suddenly he's in a hairy position. He has to run all these drones away. Even just getting that one baneling on the drone would be huge. He's going to actually... Oh,
he might lose the spire here. Oh,
yeah, it'll at
least
get
taken
scouted.
Out that spire if he wanted to, but he instead goes for the queen.
Does the laser see the spire? Wait, can you... I'm not sure that he actually came close enough to see the spire.
He did.
Okay, he did. That's good.
And a spire of his own coming out from a laser. So this is going to be interesting. So a laser quickly gets up those 6 gases. So a laser is going to try and use the fact that he has a third base, and therefore will have more gas, to get the muta advantage. And in the muta versus muta fight, basically all that matters is who has more mutas. And so those extra gases can allow you to really take the win. And remember that the third base from Lambo got canceled earlier, and that could actually be crucial in this game. Oh, that baneling has a lot of Zerglings. There's more pressure coming in from the laser into Lambo's mineral line. Oh,
there's so many banelings here. He's going to lose a bunch of drones. He might lose that queen as well. The drone count is jumping ahead for Elazer. He's now up 5 drones. He's still in the middle of this space. Oh my gosh, Lambo's losing so many drones. He's almost down 10 drones. The queen is going to die too. Oh, that's huge. So Lambo is down the third base, which he's just building now. He hasn't been able to build any mutas with his earlier spire. Now he's starting to build 6. He's down 10 workers, though. He's down a base worth of gas production. Elazer's in a really, really good position, especially because Lambo now is basically stuck in a muta versus muta fight. The way that I guess Lambo could come back is just the fact that he can produce mutas earlier, but Elazer's got so much gas bank that he'll probably neuter that.
Yeah, the lings coming into the third are the lings are gonna put on a bunch of pressure that's gonna force these mutas to defend. There's actually a huge number of overlords out on the map from Elazer. But it doesn't look like Lambo's going to have a chance to deny that. And I don't think Lambo realizes that it's going to be mutas coming out from Elazer. He's now flying across the map. He's going to try and do damage to this gold base, or maybe to the main. I don't know. So there's not enough mutas yet from Elazer. You can see he's still got a lot of gas in the bank. But he's actually got a lot of lings on this third and might be able to take that out.
Oh my gosh. So Lambo is stuck now, not actually up very many meters at all. And he's just going to GG. Elazer comes back, wins 3 straight games to take this series 3-2 over Lambo. That was an incredible series.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Not too common. Very impressive for Elazer.
Absolutely. Good job by Elazer. Thank you guys for watching. There will be some videos on there that you can watch. Other series if you're interested. Also a subscribe button. Have a good day. Hit a like if you liked it. Hit a subscribe if you subscribed it. Thank you for watching.